Before the 700th anniversary of the founding of Tenochtitlan is celebrated in February of the same year, 2025, the 500th anniversary of the death of Cuauhtémoc, the last Mexica Tlatoani. Cuauhtémoc was killed at the hands of Hernán Cortés, but the background of the death of the descending eagle is as follows. Cuauhtémoc was the son of another Mexica Tlatoani, specifically the 8th Tlatoani, named Ahuitzotl. However, his place of birth is uncertain, with two possible options. His father, Ahuitzotl, dominated parts of what is now the state of Guerrero, and one of those places is in the present-day town called Ixcateopan. Since he had subjugated the area, some believe that Ahuitzotl had Cuauhtémoc with a woman from that place. But others argue that Cuauhtémoc was born in Tlatelolco, as his mother was the daughter of a Tlatelolcan ruler. Therefore, when the Spanish arrived, he and other officials appointed by the Tenochtitlan Tlatoani governed Tlatelolco. Well, history has its paradoxes, which shows that if the Spanish had not arrived, Cuauhtémoc would never have become Tlatoani of Tenochtitlan, and perhaps we would have heard little or nothing about him in history. Because after his father's death, the next Tlatoanis were Moctezuma Xocoyotzin and then Huitláhuac. They belonged to another ruling lineage descending from Axayacatl, a lineage to which Cuauhtémoc did not belong. But fate ensured that we come to know him. First, the assassination of Moctezuma occurred either at the hands of Mexicas of Hernán Cortés. His death led to the next Tlatoani being Moctezuma's brother, Huitláhuac, who ruled in Iztapalapa at the time. But once again, fate intervened. Huitláhuac ruled for only 80 days before dying of smallpox. The second death in Axayacatl lineage now allowed Cuauhtémoc to be named the next Tenochtitlan Tlatoani. Thought unbeknownst to him, he will be the last independent Mexica Tlatoani. Once in power, he confronted the Spanish and the allies, seeking to form alliances with various groups. But in the end, Tenochtitlan fell, followed by Tlatelolco, leading to Cuauhtémoc surrendered and captured on August 13, 1521. He was then tortured and forced to submit to Cortés for the last years of his life, from 1521 until early 1525. During that period, on October 12, 1524, Hernán Cortés left Tenochtitlan with an Indian range bound of Las Ibueras, in present-day Honduras. His purpose was to punish Capitan Cristobal de Olid, who had rebelled against his authority, to undertake his own conquest. For this reason, Cortés set out to purge him. To do so, a large entourage was assembled. It included La Malinche, the Tlatoanis Cuauhtémoc, Tetlepanquetzal, and Cohuanacotzin, the captains, Catzin, and Temilotzin, as well as other nobles and government leaders. This was to prevent them from organizing a rebellion in his absence. This journey was narrated in Cortés' Cartas de Relación and in the true story of the conquest of New Spain by Bernal Díaz del Castillo. The expedition lasted several months, from October 1524 into early 1525. While in Maya territories, and despite discrepancies in historical sources, there exists a lost letter from Cortés that has been reconstructed with another data. It refers to a place called Itzamcanac, the capital of the province of Acalan. The site is now an archaeological zone called El Tigre in the state of Campeche. However, it cannot be definitely stated that this was the site of the execution. Regardless of the location, Cortés, justifying himself to the King of Spain, wrote that he had discovered a conspiracy by Cuauhtémoc to kill the Spaniards. Since the caravan included 3,000 Mexica warriors, it will be very easy to execute such a plan. After guard, they will return to Tenochtitlan to eliminate the remaining Spaniards in the city. But Cortés claimed that the Mexican noble informed him of Cuauhtémoc's plan. According to Cortés, when he confronted Cuauhtémoc, he admitted that they had indeed intended to kill them. Thus, Cortés had the perfect excuse to execute him. To carry this out, he separated Cuauhtémoc from the group, and on the third day, he decided to kill him by cutting off his head, which was then placed on a ceiba tree. Alongside him, the Lord of Tacuba also died. However, other accounts of his execution state that they were first beheaded, then their bodies were hung upside down from the branches of the ceiba, while their heads were impaled on walls. Different codices depict various versions, one showing Cuauhtémoc hanging by the neck and another by the feet. Regardless of the method of execution, both Cortés and Bernal Diaz confirmed his death. Bernal Diaz even considered it unjust. The exact date of Cuauhtémoc's death corresponds to February 28, 1525. In other words, more than 4 months after they had left Tenochtitlan in October 1524. After his execution, doubts arose about the location of his remains. Some claim they are near the Usumacinta River. Others say they are in Samcanac, and others in Ixcateopan. Perhaps the truth about his final resting place will never be known. But what is retained is that with his death, the era of the true Mexica Tlatoanis came to an end, giving way to Tlatoanis now appointed by the Spanish. But even though 5 centuries will have passed since that February 28th, the memory of Cuauhtémoc continues to rise, just as the sun does every day.